Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got an advanced lesson for you. This is a Kawai K300 ATX Anytime Silent System. It's a pretty interesting piano with a lot of technology kind of built into the acoustic. It's able to block the hammers and actually allow you to play a digital sound through headphones so that you can practice in the middle of the night when everyone else is asleep. Let me walk you through what I'm going to do on this one. Because the piano has so much technology built into it, you can't just pull the action like standard. There are a series of wires, cables, clips, and detents that we need to remove first. Here's our first one. It's a data cable that has a little detent to hold the wires clean. Behind the box at the bottom of the screen is actually a ground strap. That's another one that I found a little later on. Moving to the other side of the piano, we have an actuating cable that's going to prevent the action from coming out as well. I have to remove a few things here, the spring and the small white bracket at the bottom of the screen. Once all of these components are removed, we can safely remove the action and begin our process. The first job I'm going to complete is making sure that all of the hammer flanges are tight, as well as the whipping flanges. There are 88 of each, meaning we have to turn 176 screws before we're finished. The hammer flanges are found on the front of the action, but the whipping flanges are found on the back. The only other component of note back here are going to be the damper spoons. They can sometimes cause a squeak, so we're going to be sure to lubricate those. Any lubrication is going to be done with McLube 1725L. Now that the action is finished, I'm going to go ahead and take all the keys out for polishing and buffing. Here's my technique on that. I like to scoop one hand under, brace the keys, and then slightly wiggle them off of the balance pins. As we look closer at the keys, we can see a lot of spilled liquids, we can see scratches, blemishes, all kinds of stuff, so we're going to be sure to go through and clean these up the right way. The first product I use on the keys is an ammonia-free glass cleaner with a clean microfiber cloth. It only takes a few wipes of each key to get the lighter blemishes off. There's still going to be some deep scratching and some light surface scratches. We'll get to the buffing wheel after this. This is kind of the before the buffing wheel. You can see some light scratches, although some of the spilled liquids and lighter blemishes have been taken off. Let's see what the buffing wheel does. Anytime there's a repetitive droning noise, I put my ear protection on. I get the wheel spun up and I apply the polishing compound. Now I'm going to begin with each key. It doesn't take a lot and you don't have to press very hard, and you shouldn't stay in one spot too long on any key. That could cause the plastic to burn, so we want to be pretty efficient and slick with our motion to get the best results. I also use my thumb to wipe off the excess at the end. Here's our final product. Mirror finish, although some of the heaviest scratches couldn't be taken out with the buffing wheel. Realistically, a 1000 grit sandpaper should be used on those. With the keys placed back on the bench, I cover them with a piece of cardboard so that I can lubricate the capstans with our McLube. With the keys out of the piano, it's the perfect time to vacuum up the key bed. Clean it of any dust, debris, pennies, paper clips, we find it all. I also make sure to clean the felt off as well. Once the key bed is cleaned, I grab a couple of scrap pieces of cardboard to cover the cheek blocks because I'm now going to lubricate the balance and front rail pins. McLube can be pretty hard on the finish, so I want to make sure to protect those things. With the key bed complete, I move the wire out of the way and carefully put the keys back into place. If it looks like I'm handling them a little bit awkward, it's because I actually usually work the other way around. I go left to right instead of right to left. There's not too much of a trick to putting keys back in. You just want to be careful with the balance pin hole that you don't oval it out. We're now going to move into regulation, and I want to take a second to let you know that this is not going to be like a standard piano. Because this has a silent system, we need to adjust for it. So our let-off cannot be in the same place that it would be on just a normal acoustic K300. If we were to leave the let off in the exact same spot, what we would find is that the hammers would block on the silent rail system, so to the player, it wouldn't feel correct. It would feel like half of the press that they would normally get from the key. With that note out of the way, what I'm actually doing in this clip is adjusting the hammer line. The hammers were too far forward and not resting against the rail, so you see me tug on the rail to check if they're leaning against it, and then adjusting the capstan from there. One of the last things we're going to look at before tuning the piano is actually these pedals. These can definitely be polished up. So I use a product called Flitz. I wear gloves because it's a pretty messy substance. I grab a little brush to paint the Flitz on. I have a clean microfiber cloth and a piece of steel wool. When it comes to Flitz, a little dab will do ya. Doesn't take much. We're going to go ahead and spread it on as evenly as we can with our little brush. If you get it on the finish, it's not the biggest deal. You'll just want to wipe it off before it's on there too long. Once I have the Flitz painted on, it's about a 5-minute to 10-minute process to let that stuff cook. There's actually a chemical reaction that's going on here, so we want to allow it to be able to do that. After that 5 to 10 minute period, I'm going to go ahead and use the steel wool to brush the surface of the pedal clean. It's going to remove the oxidization, and if there's been lacquer left behind, it'll remove that as well. Once I'm confident that I've removed as much as I can with the steel wool, I grab the clean cloth and I polish the pedal to a mirror finish. Look at how great these things look. From here, I prepare the piano to tune. After this point, what you'll see is a clip of me tuning the piano. You'll hear some of my coworkers in the background tuning as well. Then you'll see a clip of the piano before it was tuned, followed by a clip after the piano was tuned. Enjoy! As always, guys, thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the next one.